Welcome to the Cameo Renee podcast. This is a place for those who refuse to sit back and wait for life to unfold. If you're ready to break free from the slow lane and seize every opportunity, you're in the right place. We're all about taking action, making shit happen, and creating the life you desire. Join me as we dive into powerful conversations and strategies that will help you grow your mindset and chase your dreams. Welcome to the Cameo Renee podcast. I am Cameo Renee. I'm Cameo. And today we're going to talk about why it's important to be different. And I feel like this is a really important topic, especially right now, because let's be real, everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people are wanting to be their own boss, which is so cool. I love that. But there's a lot that comes with it. You can't just open a business and be like, oh my gosh, come to my business, and everyone comes flooding in. Yeah, so what makes you different? That is such an important thing to ask yourself, because whatever you're doing, I'm sure that it's saturated in a way of there's a lot of people doing it. So what is going to make you stand out that's going to make somebody choose you? Let's unpack that and take a look at what that can mean. So for instance, let's take my salon, for example. I have a salon, and a long time ago, when I worked for somebody in a salon, the woman asked or told me, she said, there is something that is so important that a lot of people don't think about, which is you need something that makes you different. What are we going to do that makes us different? That makes our guests come to us instead of we literally had a salon across the street from us. So what are we going to do different that's going to make them come to us instead of them? And it really stuck with me. And I'm so grateful for that moment, because now anytime I open up a business, the first or one of the first questions I ask myself is, okay, how am I going to be different? I have a cafe. There are a million cafes, especially I feel like, again, like a cafe, everyone wants to open a cafe. Who doesn't? It's amazing. So what am I going to do that creates an environment that feels special? And what am I going to put into my cafe that feels different? Why is somebody going to come in and do work in my space opposed to Starbucks? So me asking this question for my salon, let's say, for my salon, what makes us different is we're an inclusive space that provides luxury services with a small town feel. So you're going to be able to come into our space no matter what gender, what your pronoun preferences are. We are women and LGBT owned. My wife and I opened the cafe next to my salon, and it's so important to us that everyone who comes in feels welcomed. So number one, that makes us, I feel, stand out from the rest. So coming back to my salon, when you talk about a luxury space, a lot of times, let's be real, you don't think about very welcoming. You don't think warm. You think modern and chic, and which is cool. I love that. But for me, like I have these tattoos, I have piercings. I don't always feel comfortable walking to a luxury place. And so my goal was to create a space where you can receive luxury customer service, luxury services, and a luxury feel and outcome without feeling like you have to be somebody you're not. And I'm really proud of that. So when you're opening up your space or opening up your business, I strongly encourage you to journal, really think about who you want in your space, first of all, who your target audience is, and how you want them to feel. How do you want to stick out to them? When they go down the street to the other salon, and then they come to your space, what's going to make them come back opposed to the other space? So again, I really encourage everyone to sit down, journal, and come up with different ways you feel that you can provide a really special experience for people. Because when you're creating an experience, you're creating a connection. And when you create that connection, you're creating loyalty. So in business, you, of course, want people to come and purchase from you, right? But what's going to create a constant revenue for you is repeat clients, repeat customers, repeat guests. And how you're going to do that is making them feel special. So, coming back to what makes you different and why it's important, I also want you to put in that notebook, what experience are you giving? So, what makes you different? And what is that thing that you are doing different? And what experience does it create? And I really want you to hold on to that. This is going to be the thing that you come back to every single time when you are questioning, because you will, what am I going to do? What am I going to create? There's going to be people coming to you and telling you what you should do and what you should create and all of these things. But when you start questioning yourself, you want to come back to this space, back to this journal and what you wrote and look at it and make sure you're sticking to what you feel you want to bring to the table, because they can open up their own business and do their own thing. Your authenticity sticks to what you wrote down. So I really love journaling all the time. You'll find me with a million of these notebooks everywhere. I should create, you know what? Maybe one day I will create my own notebook, because I feel like I just can't live without them. So get yourself a notebook, write down all the ideas. Nothing is a bad idea. Sometimes we're driving or we're doing something mindless and you get this idea and it's not a coincidence. It's put there for a reason, but maybe you're busy or something else comes up and it just floats away. Please, I encourage you, if you get these ideas popping into your head, put it in your phone, put it in a notebook, write it down, and at the end of the month, come back to it and go over it. This is something that I do because I'm so ADD. I cannot remember everything that this crazy brain thinks of. And sometimes I'll come up with a thought, I'll write it down, and when I come back to it at the end of the month, I'm like, holy shit, this is such a good idea. How I forgot about it. Let me come back to this and let me sit with this. Let me journal about this. Let me write about it. What can I do with this idea that is solving somebody's problem, that is solving maybe my problem, maybe bringing an extra special service or experience to one of my businesses or all of my businesses. Either way, that notebook or that journaling, wherever you choose to write your ideas down, they're coming to you for a reason. So don't ignore them. So another reason why being different is really important for you and your brand is it creates brand recognition. What that means is it's creating a memorable identity for your brand. When you stick out and you're doing something really cool and really different, that is what people are going to associate your business with. Think about a brand that you love or that you like or that you think of, and think about what is attached to that idea or that thought or that brand. You thought of something because they do it on purpose, right? Think about Starbucks. What do you think about when you think about Starbucks? There's a few things pop into my head, right? I also feel like they're inclusive. I feel like like they care about their employees. They provide a lot of benefits. And I also think about their specialty drinks. I love their specialty drinks. And there is something, I don't know what it is, but there is something amazing around their holiday cups. Every time they come out with their holiday cups, I get so excited. And I do know because I love the holidays. So for me, it represents warmth, happiness, family coming together, and all in a cup. This is some of the reasons why I wanted to open up my own cafe. I wanted to create those feelings for other people. I wanted to create a space where when they came in, they felt warm and welcome. And that's why I called it Cozy Cafe. Kind of sidetracking here, the way it's spelled is Cozie. So I spelled it different. And the reason why I did that, again, I'm totally going off track here, but I listened to a mastermind by the woman, and I can't remember her name right now. I'm so sorry, who created Spanx. And the way you spell Spanx, her company is Spanx. And she did that on purpose because she researched how to create a name. Like she heard that if you create a brand name that is a common word, but it's spelt differently, people are more likely to remember it. So I took this idea of, I really want my space to be cozy. And I took her idea where spelling a common word differently or quote unquote wrong will make it stick. And I created the name Cozy Cafe, Cozie Cafe. Anyway, going back on track, I guess we can tie it into it makes us different in a way that we're spelling a word completely wrong. So we're spelling a word completely wrong in our name, which is most likely the first thing people see. And then we attach this identity to us that is completely different, I feel, where a lot of people, let's say, for example, again, and I'm just using Starbucks because everybody knows who Starbucks is. So let's go back to Starbucks where you do feel like they are inclusive, but I don't really feel like they make a big stink about it. Like they're not like, oh, we're LGBT and we're going to raise money for this community and all of these different things that may feel like they're proud to be LGBT friendly, where with us, we are a part of the community. So it's really important to us to make our clients, our customers, our guests feel like we care. And in another episode, I'm going to talk about why it's important to care the most. Look for that coming up, but it's important to care the most. You want your clients and your customers to feel important. And by just doing that, you're going to be different because, again, with our world that is so saturated with all of these businesses coming out and people wanting to be entrepreneurs, every field is saturated. Why I bring up Starbucks is because they're so widely known. And I feel like they're LGBT friendly or LGBTQ plus friendly, but they're not super proud of it. With my wife and I, we are obviously part of the community, and it's really important for us to do things for our community. And to me, that's what makes us special. That's what makes us stand out. We're always, and not just the LGBTQ plus community, it's every community. I feel like it's important to make every person who comes into our space feel welcomed. So we have gluten-free, we have vegan, we have kosher, we have pork-free options. We try to include everyone. In doing this, we stand out because we're not just saying what you get is what you get and you don't get upset. No, we're saying we see you, we hear you, and we take into consideration everyone. So everyone can come here and enjoy something. In our menu, we also do that. And whereas you can go to different cafes and they'll have I feel like a lot of cafes have a pretty small menu. And typically, people say to stay away from having a large menu because when you have too much to choose from, it becomes overwhelming for the guest. I agree with that. But there's a but. But at Cozy Cafe, we have a very extensive menu, but only in our drinks. So our drink menu, it has to be like over 80 options. But it's something beautiful came of this. So we have our typical cafe menu, and then we have our special menu. And we flip that menu many times where we have seasonal, we take out things, we put in things, and this is what keeps us interesting. This is what makes us stand out, and this is what makes us different. Our guests can come in, they can spin a wheel that'll tell them the new drink that they want to try today, or they can come in and see what new specials we have, and it keeps them coming back and it keeps them wanting more. And it makes them feel included because we talk to them, we ask them what they like, and maybe next time they come back, we'll have a drink of something with something that they like. So, coming back to what makes you different, this is what I'm talking about. Everything that you do, everything that your guest is experiencing from the time that they walk in that door is going to make you stand out. So make sure from the walls to their ordering experience to them sitting down and enjoying a service or something to eat or buying a shirt from you or jewelry from you, whatever it is that you do, make sure that every part of your experience is special and different and your client or your guest feels seen and heard. This is a good one too. In my notebook, I wrote down value perception. Value perception is really important. Just today, I got my nails done. If you can't see me, I'm sorry, but I got holiday nails today. I love them. I'm super excited about them. But I was sitting down with my nail tech and I love her. Anybody that I send to her, she's amazing. She is just so good at her craft. She's fast. She's efficient. She never fails me, ever. And today I tried to talk to her about raising her prices. She's getting busier. And again, she's just good at what she does. So I talked to her about even just a $2 raise. She doesn't own the business, so I can see why she had a little bit of hesitation. But the first thing she said was, oh, I can't do that because my clients can't afford that. Well, I'm talking about $2 raise. I'm not talking about like a 10 or 20 or $30 raise in her prices, but you have to pay attention to your mindset around this because if you're offering something that's different, something that is solving somebody's problem, they keep coming back to you and you're so busy that it's hard for, let's say, me to book with you, it's time for a raise. And how you're justifying that is how you're different. Why they keep coming back to you. They're coming back to you for a reason, right? It's time for a raise. And yeah, some people are going to go somewhere else because maybe they didn't like that raise, but you're also going to start gaining clients that are willing to pay that. You're making room for people who can pay that or want to pay that because your service is worth it. And if you create an identity around that concept, people will come, people will pay, and you deserve that. At least for me, especially in the beginning, it was really hard for me to justify charging people. Hello, I do hair. I have to charge people. And I have to charge people right because I'm using product, I'm using my time and skill. This idea of, we call it emotional charging, it's not good. And that's exactly what she was doing. She was emotionally charging her clients, or she is emotionally charging her clients, and it's affecting her pay. So please, if you find yourself in this position of, oh, I don't know if my guests are going to this, or, oh, I feel like people are going to leave me. That's not a growth mindset. That's a negative mindset. please reevaluate and maybe go to your journal. Go to your journal and write down like your profit margin and write down a goal where you want to be. These are all really important things to know because if you're not getting to that goal, then you have to meet yourself somewhere in the middle to get to that goal. If you're not changing anything, nothing's going to change. So I know it might seem obvious, but sometimes we need to hear it. So I'm telling you, I am here for you. I'm going to be the one to tell you today, change it now, because it's like when you're trying to start like a new quote unquote diet or exercise routine and you're like, oh, I'm going to start on Monday. Oh, I'm going to start in the new year. We don't do that. No, we just start because if you're going to keep waiting to start, then you're potentially going to keep coming up with any excuses why you're going to start on another date or, oh, you know what? I'm just going to start. I didn't get to it today. I'll start. And then it just keeps going and going. So it is good to come up with a specific time to start, but we don't want to make it like a Monday just to start the week fresh or the new year because we're going to start in the new year. Another reason why it's really important to stand out from the crowd and be different and come up with something that is your own is because it gets people talking. So think back to a time where you went somewhere and like you did something, like they had something so cool and different. What did you do? I mean, you probably took a picture, a selfie, tagged them, posted it, told your friends about it. This was so cool. I did this thing and I've never seen it before. Sometimes going back to things that you have experienced, I've literally told my stylist at my salon, go to a salon that you feel you would like, or go to a luxury salon. I want you to remember how it is to experience that experience. It's so hard sometimes when you're in the industry to remember what your guests want because you're just in it and you're blinded to it. So it's really important to make yourself the customer sometimes and experience, see what you don't like, see what you do, see what you wish you had in that experience that could have made it that much better. And then put it into your business. Because if you're thinking it, I guarantee you, other people are thinking it as well. So increasing the word of mouth through this concept of creating a different experience. Word of mouth is the oldest marketing technique, and in my opinion, still one of the best. So it's just another way to also create brand awareness. I know this is a little taboo, and maybe it isn't. I don't know. I feel like it is to talk about niching down on something. I feel like if you do decide to niche down on something, it could be great. Also, on the other hand, if you decide to niche down too much on something that maybe doesn't have a large audience, could also not be so great. But let's make this in a scenario where it's good. Let's say, for example, I have a friend. She was actually a stylist of mine who decided she wanted to open up her own cafe, and she's Gothic. So that's a great niche. There are a lot of people who are Gothic, believe it or not. It's very common. I wouldn't say very common. I'm just going to say that there's a market for it, a good market for it. In this cafe, her niche is she's going to create a Gothic cafe. I'm so proud of her. And I can't wait. Her name is Katie. She's opening up in, I believe, Westwood, New Jersey, sometime next year. So if you're in the area, look for her Gothic cafe in 2025. But niching down on this idea and this concept and creating an experience for people who, honestly, hello, I'm not Gothic. But I think the idea is so cool and so different that I'm at least going to go try and see. So creating this idea in somebody's head that may be something that they have never experienced before, you're going to create buzz. You're going to create that word of mouth and that thing that makes you stand out. So creating this market, coming back to the market that you're marketing to, there's a saying, if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one. So niching down on the Gothic community, but also at the same time creating a different experience for people who may not be Gothic, makes her stand out in such a cool way. I can't wait to see her marketing because like my brain explodes thinking of all the ways that she could do this. And if you have something that stands out in this way of sticking to who you are, sticking to your authentic self, like she is sticking to her authentic self, which is Gothic, you're niching down in such a grand way. It really is an awesome thing and could be great for you if you utilize it in the correct way. That is it. I'm going to be doing these like little segments every once in a while, and I hope you guys enjoy them. I don't think that people want to all the time listen to 45 minutes to an hour of a podcast. Let me know what you think about these shorter episodes, if maybe you think I should do more of them, or if you like the longer versions, or if you like the variety. Just let me know what you think. Give it a share, especially if you know somebody who could benefit from this. Send it to them, and thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here with me today. It's always appreciated if you would like, share, or drop a comment about what you think. And of course, remember to do what the fuck you want because you deserve it. See you next time. As always, sending love and positive vibes.